Close your eyes. Take a slow breath. Welcome to Timeless History Audio. Tonight, we are not rushing anywhere. We are not counting years. We are not chasing events. We are simply listening to time. Time does not speak loudly. It never announces itself. Yet it has quietly shaped everything humans have ever built. Before cities, before empires, before names were written in stone, there was a simple human fear, the fear of disappearing. Early humans moved with the seasons. They followed animals. They followed water. Nothing stayed. And because nothing stayed, neither did they. But one day, humans did something different. They stopped. They placed stones in a circle. They stacked earth into walls. They built shelter not just for a night, but for tomorrow. That was the first moment humans challenged time, not with strength, not with power, but with hope. A home is not just protection from rain, it is a statement. It quietly says, I will be here again. As generations passed, homes became villages, villages became cities, and cities became symbols. Walls grew thicker, stones grew heavier, structures grew taller. Each generation believed the same quiet thought. If we build it strong enough, it will last. Time watched. Temples rose toward the sky, palaces spread across land, roads cut through mountains. Humans believed permanence could be engineered, but time does not resist. It does not fight back. It waits. Stone cracks slowly. Wood softens. Metal rusts. Not in days, not in years, but patiently. A city does not fall in a moment. It forgets itself first. Maintenance slows, stories fade, purpose weakens. Time does not destroy civilizations. It allows them to be abandoned. When people leave, time enters. Grass grows between stones, wind moves through empty halls, rain finds every weakness. And slowly, what was once alive becomes quiet. Humans return centuries later and call it ruins, but time never called it that. To time, it was simply change. Every civilization believed it was different, more advanced, more permanent. Every civilization was wrong, not because they failed, but because time does not measure success the way humans do. Humans measure in lifetimes. Time measures in transformations. A monument is built to be remembered, but memory belongs to humans, not to time. Time keeps no records, only traces. A broken column, a faded carving, a foundation without a name. These are not warnings, they are reminders. Humans build because they care, because they dream, because they love the idea of tomorrow. Time changes those dreams without judgment. Even now, modern cities rise with confidence. Steel reaches higher than stone ever did. Glass reflects the sky. We say these structures are stronger, smarter, permanent. Time listens quietly, not impressed, not threatened, only patient, because time has seen stronger things fade. This is not a story about failure. It is a story about scale. Human lives are brief. Human works are longer. Time is endless. And yet, humans continue to build, because building is not about winning against time, it is about speaking to the future. Every wall says, "We were here." Time replies, "I know." As this journey continues, we will walk through cities long silent, empires long forgotten, and worlds transformed by quiet years, not to mourn them, but to understand them. For now, rest. Let the weight of centuries feel light. Let the rush of modern life slow down. Time is not chasing you. It never has. Time moves forward without sound. While humans sleep, while generations pass, time continues its quiet work. In part 1, we saw how humans first learned to stay, how they built homes, then villages, then cities, not just to survive, but to be remembered. In this part, we step deeper. We enter the age when humans truly believed they had defeated time. Once, cities were not ruins. They were alive. Streets echoed with footsteps. Markets were filled with voices. Walls stood not as symbols, but as protection. Every city believed it was necessary. Every city believed it would endure. Stone by stone, humans built their confidence into the ground. Cities became promises. A city promised safety. It promised order. It promised that tomorrow would look like today. And for a while, it did. As cities grew, humans began to think differently. No longer in seasons, no longer in short lifetimes, they began to think in generations. A father built knowing his children would live there. A ruler built knowing his name would outlive him. This is when architecture changed. Buildings were no longer just useful, they became statements. Columns were raised to touch the sky. Gates were carved to impress strangers. Walls were thickened to feel eternal. Humans believed that size meant permanence. Time did not argue. Empires rose from cities. Roads stretched across continents. Messages traveled faster than ever before. From the human point of view, this felt like victory. Never before had so much been controlled. Never before had humans shaped land on such a scale. Maps grew detailed, borders felt real. Humans believed they had mastered space. But time does not live in space. It lives in patience. Every empire built monuments, not because they were needed, but because they were symbolic. A monument says, "This matters." But monuments speak only to humans. Time listens differently. Time listens to weather, to gravity, to neglect. A single crack is enough. Rain enters quietly. Wind widens the gap. Heat and cold repeat their cycle. No army can stop this. No empire ever has. Cities begin to change long before they fall. This is the part humans rarely notice. A road is repaired less often. A building is left empty. A tradition is forgotten. None of this feels like collapse. It feels normal. Time does not announce endings. It stretches them. A city can exist physically long after it has ended culturally. The stones remain, but the meaning fades. And meaning is what keeps humans present. Eventually, people leave. Not all at once, not dramatically. They leave for opportunity, for safety, for something better. And when humans leave, time steps closer. Nature does not rush in. It waits. A seed finds soil between stones. Water finds its way through roofs. Animals explore spaces once forbidden. Life returns, but not the same life. Centuries later, other humans arrive. They stand where cities once stood. They see walls without voices. They see beauty without context. They call these places ruins. But ruins are not failures. They are conversations interrupted. Time did not destroy these cities. Time allowed them to be replaced. Humans often ask, what went wrong? But to time, nothing went wrong. Everything simply continued. Civilizations are not meant to be permanent. They are meant to exist, just like people, just like moments. Today, we build cities faster than ever before. Steel rises in months, glass reflects ambition, lights erase the darkness. Modern cities feel invincible. They hum with energy, they glow at night, they feel alive. But every city, ancient or modern, shares the same weakness. It depends on humans staying. Time knows this. One day, even the most advanced city will slow. Maintenance will become expensive, purpose will shift, people will move on. Not because the city failed, but because humans changed. And time will be there. Not as an enemy, not as a force of destruction, but as a witness. As you rest now, imagine a city you know. Picture it silent, not destroyed, just quiet. Buildings still standing, streets still shaped, waiting. This is how time works, not with endings, but with distance. In the next part, we will leave the cities behind and follow something humans believed would last even longer than stone. Ideas, beliefs, faith. Because humans did not only build with their hands, they built with their minds. And time had plans for those too. Time does not only pass through stone, it also passes through thought. In the last part, we walked through cities that once believed they would last forever. Now, we move into something humans trusted even more than walls: ideas. Because when stone crumbles, humans believe ideas remain. Long ago, humans realized something quietly frightening. A city can fall, a wall can break, a monument can disappear. But a story, a belief, a shared meaning, those can travel. So humans began building with the mind. They built temples not only from stone, but from faith. They built traditions meant to outlive generations. They built explanations for the world that felt eternal. If time could change everything physical, surely it could not change belief. Or so they hoped. Early beliefs were simple. The sun rose, the sun set. Rain came, storms destroyed. Humans searched for meaning in these patterns. They named forces, they told stories. They passed them on quietly by firelight. A belief shared by many feels stronger than stone because it lives inside people. As long as people remember, the belief survives. This made belief feel immortal. Temples rose not just as buildings, but as anchors, places where humans could gather and say, "This matters." Sacred texts were written, words carefully chosen, copied again and again. Humans believed that if ideas were preserved correctly, they would never change. Time listened. At first, belief united people. It created order. It explained suffering. It gave purpose. But belief also needed protection, so humans built rules around it, walls around it, authorities to guard it. And, just like cities, belief began to solidify. What was once fluid became fixed, and fixed things are easier for time to reshape. Time does not erase ideas suddenly, it bends them. A word changes meaning, a story gains details, a ritual adapts. Not because anyone plans it, but because people change, and belief lives inside people. When people change, belief must follow. Knowledge followed the same path. Humans collected information. They stored it in libraries. They believed knowledge could defeat forgetting. Scrolls became books. Books became institutions. Knowledge felt permanent, but knowledge also depends on care. A library must be maintained, a language must be spoken, a text must be understood. When people leave, knowledge becomes silent. Time does not burn libraries, neglect does. Centuries pass. New beliefs emerge, old ones fade. Not always because they were wrong, but because the world around them changed. Time does not judge belief. It simply asks, is this still needed? If the answer becomes unclear, belief begins to drift. Some ideas survive by adapting. Others survive only as shadows. Names remain, meanings soften. Practices continue without memory. Humans call this tradition. Time calls it transformation. Today, humans believe ideas move faster than ever. Digital words, endless records, infinite copies. We believe nothing can be lost now. Time remains patient. Formats change, systems fail, attention moves on. An idea unread is no different than an idea forgotten. Even the strongest beliefs have changed shape across centuries. Not destroyed, not erased, changed. Because permanence is not about resisting time, it is about moving with it. As you rest now, consider this. The buildings humans trusted failed. The ideas humans trusted evolved. Time touched both. Not harshly, not violently, quietly. This is the pattern. Humans build, humans believe, time transforms. In the next part, we will turn our attention to the present, to the modern world, to the structures, systems, and technologies humans believe are finally different, finally untouchable. And we will ask the same quiet question. Is this time, or is it just another moment waiting to change? Time has not slowed down. Only humans believe it has. In earlier ages, change was visible. Stones cracked, walls fell, cities emptied. Today, change hides behind speed. The modern world feels different, stronger, smarter, more permanent than anything that came before. And this belief feels convincing. Steel replaces stone, concrete replaces earth, glass replaces walls. Buildings rise faster than ever, cities expand without pause, lights erase the night. To the modern mind, this feels like progress. If ancient cities failed because they were slow and fragile, surely modern ones will endure. Time listens quietly. Modern humans trust systems more than structures: electricity, networks, supply chains. These are not things you can touch easily. They feel invisible, and invisibility feels powerful. But systems depend on balance. When balance shifts, systems strain. Time does not break systems, it waits for pressure. Technology creates the illusion of control. Information moves instantly. Communication crosses the world in seconds. Distance feels conquered, but time is not distance. Time is dependency. Every modern structure depends on countless others. Remove one, and strain spreads. This is not weakness, it is complexity. And complexity gives time more pathways. Modern cities no longer sleep. They glow, they hum, they pulse with movement. Humans feel surrounded by activity. This makes stillness uncomfortable. Silence feels like failure. But time works best in silence. Maintenance becomes the modern struggle, not building, but preserving. Bridges must be inspected, systems must be updated, infrastructure must be renewed. This requires attention, and attention is limited. Time does not rush decay, it waits for distraction. The modern world moves fast, trends rise and vanish, technologies replace each other quickly. What is new today feels outdated tomorrow. This speed feels like resistance to time, but it is the opposite. Rapid replacement shortens attachment. When humans stop caring for something, time steps closer. Even digital spaces decay. Files become unreadable. Formats become obsolete. Platforms disappear. Humans believed digital meant permanent. Time does not recognize digital. It recognizes neglect. Modern humans build upward and outward. Skylines compete for height. Cities stretch endlessly. But expansion is not permanence. It is reach. Time measures depth. Today's world feels unprecedented, but time has seen many new eras. Each believed it was different. Each believed it had solved the old problems. Each left behind traces. The modern world will do the same. Not suddenly, not dramatically. Quietly. This is not a warning. It is a reminder. The modern world is not fragile. It is temporary, just like everything humans build. And that is not failure. That is reality. As you rest now, imagine the present from far away. Not tomorrow, not a century from now, but far enough that names fade. What remains? Not brands, not systems, only shapes, only traces. Time will not judge the modern world, it will transform it. In the final part, we will step back, away from buildings, away from beliefs, away from systems. We will look at the one thing time has never taken from humans, the story. Because while everything humans build changes, the act of remembering continues. And in that quiet act, something gentle remains.
Time does not take everything. This is something humans often forget. After cities fade, after beliefs shift, after systems evolve, something quiet remains: the story. Humans have always told stories. Before stone, before writing, before walls. Stories traveled where buildings could not. They crossed generations without weight. They lived inside voices. Time never tried to stop them, because stories are not objects, they are movements. When a city becomes ruins, people do not remember every street. They remember what it meant. When a belief changes, people do not carry every rule. They carry the feeling it gave them. Meaning outlives form. This is what time allows. Humans often ask, what was the point if it all changed? Time answers quietly. Change is not erasure. Change is continuation. A river is not the same water, yet it remains the same river. So it is with civilizations. So it is with people. Everything humans build becomes part of something larger. Stones return to earth. Ideas return to thought. Cities return to landscape. Nothing is wasted. Time does not destroy. It recycles meaning. Even now, as you listen, you are part of this pattern. Your thoughts, your memories, your quiet moments, they will change, but they will not vanish. They will become part of something else. Humans build not to defeat time, but to speak to it. Every structure says, "We were here." Time replies, "And you still are." Not as walls, not as names, but as influence. The future will never see the world exactly as it is today, and that is not loss.
It is life continuing, just as it always has. So when you think of ruins, do not think of failure. Think of completion, a chapter finished, a story passed forward. Time is not the enemy of humans. Time is the reason humans matter. Because without limits, nothing would be precious. As this journey ends, let the weight of history feel light. You do not need to remember every detail. You only need to feel the rhythm. Build, change, remain. This has been Timeless History Audio, a quiet place to slow down, to listen, and to rest. Time will keep moving. For now, you don't have to. Good night.